Telling a person to calm down never works. If your partner told you in the middle of an argument to calm down, would you? Exactly. That doesn't work with your customers either. In this video, I am sharing with you 5 phrases that work better than, ma'am, I need you to calm down. To tell your customer to calm down is like pushing them into a corner. It's like telling them to have a seat. People do not respond positively to that. I know I wouldn't. You wouldn't either. I do an exercise in my workshops where I have everybody stand up and stand with a partner. And they identify as partner A and partner B. I tell partner A to hold up their palm. And then I tell partner B to press your palm against partner A. That is, I want, if you're B, to push against the palm of the other person. I let them do this for several seconds. And then I ask, how many of you who were partner A, how many of you pushed back when partner B was pushing your hand? And almost every hand goes up. Yeah, I was partner A and I pushed back. And then I say, well, if you notice, I only told partner B to press, to push. I didn't give that instruction to A. So why did you push? And the answer is always, well, they were pushing, so it felt natural for me to push. And so it is. When we are pushed into a corner, when a customer is told to calm down, or I can't help you, calm down before we go any further, that is a push, and they are going to push back. They will push back by becoming more emotional or asking to talk to a manager. They don't push back by being nicer. So the first thing we have to learn how to do, or the first thing we have to learn not to do, is don't push, because your customer is going to push back. Letting the customer rage on isn't helpful either. That just creates a bigger problem, because now we have other customers waiting to be served. Your boss isn't usually happy because your average handle time is high, or they have to handle escalated issues. So we don't have the option for letting the customer run the show. It may be that your customer is trying to bait you. The bait tactic. If you take the bait, and we take the bait when we get defensive, saying, ma'am, I need you to calm down, that is very much us taking the bait. When you take the bait, the customer knows they got you. They are under your skin and they are in control, whether we like it or not. So I need you to not take the bait. We are not going to respond defensively. We are not going to hand control of the interaction to a customer by taking the bait. In problem situations, your customer thinks it is you against them. In their mind, you are defending the problem. You are protecting the problem. You are making the problem worse for them. So they are on one side of a line, an imaginary line, and the problem is on the other side. You are on the same side of the line as the problem. And so the customer feels like, I have to push. It's a battle. I have to escalate. I have to speak my truth if I am to get what I want. Now, of course, this is not the reality, right? It is not us against them. The reality is the problem is the problem. You're not the problem. The customer, even though they're difficult, they may be acting ugly, they are not the problem. The problem is the problem. And our objective must be to show the customer that we are on the same side of the line as they are. It is the customer, it is us. We are talking as if face to face, even if that is an email, even if it's live chat. Face to face, of course, over the phone. We show them that we are on the same side of the line as they are. We're talking. The problem is the problem. The enemy is the problem. And just like the customer, we want to get to the bottom of this. We want the problem resolved as much as they do. So your objective is to convey to the customer that I want the same thing you do. That would be the opposite of pushing. We convey to the customer that we're on the same side by making sure we're not defensive, by working our way into the conversation with well-planned phrases. So rather than demand that a customer calm down, because we know that never works, rather than pushing, because we know they will push back, I want you to give the customer what they are seeking, what they are hungry for. Your customer wants to feel heard. They want to be heard. They want to be acknowledged. You are going to assert your way into that conversation, validate the customer, giving them everything that they're looking for, which is what's going to lower the temperature and put you back in control. Here are my 5 phrases that work better than, ma'am, I need you to calm down. All right. We want to get to the bottom of this as much as you do. Lead with, it seems like, or it sounds like. For example, it sounds like you've had a frustrating time. I know it seems like these things take forever. I can see your point on that. If I were in your shoes, I think I'd feel the same way. I'm so glad you contacted us about this. We appreciate customers who let us know when things aren't right. All right. I have an assignment for you as we wrap up. It is a 3-part assignment. Part 1, I want you to recall a recent interaction with a customer, a recent challenging interaction where you really struggled to regain control. This interaction can be over the phone, maybe it's live chat, it can be in person. But I want it to be something you really struggled with because your customer was difficult. Part 2, I want you to try to remember the words you used. What did you say to try to regain control of the conversation? What were the words you used? What was the tone you took if it was over the phone or face to face? Now, part 3, imagine you could have that conversation again. You could go back and redo that live chat or have that conversation over the phone or in person. How, this time, will you assert your way in? We know what doesn't work. We know that if we are defensive or we take the bait, what happens is if we're defensive, we are pushing and the customer is pushing back. If we take the bait that they are throwing out, we have just given them control. So I want you in the final part of the 3-part assignment to think of what would I say if I could do it again? When you recall a difficult interaction and then go back in your mind and have a redo, what you're doing is you're building up your confidence. You're putting tools in your toolbox so that you're more ready when you're in a similar position in the future. And we both know it's going to happen again. So I want you, when you finish this video, when you walk away, I want you to walk through a recent interaction and then think about how you could redo that interaction. I did put my phrases in the description. So if you want to go back and look at those as you have your redo, I think that would be perfect. When you validate your customers, rather than just simply telling them to calm down, you're going to find that it is so much easier to lower the temperature and guide customers to the next steps. If you need more help bringing down the temperature, de-escalating with challenging customers, I invite you to check out my De-escalation Academy. When you join De-escalation Academy, or if you are a leader and you choose to get your employees inside De-escalation Academy, your employees will learn how to get angry customers to back down without feeling nervous and to move interactions to closure without escalating to a supervisor. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch my video. If I helped you today, do me a favor and like this video. And I invite you to subscribe to my channel so you are always the first to know when I release a new video. Cheers!